Hi, my name is Mark Galley. I'm with Think Reliability, and this is a summary of a webinar I gave on August 21st, 2009, an introduction to cause mapping. You can read the screen, obviously, as I step through these, so you can pause it at any point, but I'm not going to read each one of the slides. I just wanted to provide a summary of the material we covered. First point we like to cover in the cause mapping method is the definition of the word analysis. It means to break down into parts. You can analyze a problem, which is made up of causes. You can analyze a process, which is made up of steps. Root cause analysis is a buzzword in many organizations, and it means a method to find the root cause. The concept of root cause analysis, the metaphor, I think is excellent. The weed that grows in your yard, it's this recurring issue. If you just pull the top off, it keeps coming back. So organizations have weeds within their business. If you pull the top off the weed, it comes back. You have to get to the root. The root is the part that is beneath the surface. It's not the thing that caused the issue. A lot of times organizations think that the word root and root cause analysis is a type of cause. You have to think of the root as the part beneath the surface, the part that's difficult to see. Some common terms that organizations use are contributing cause and root cause. They usually mean, or they intend it to mean, that the contributing cause is something that just contributes to the issue. The root cause is what really caused the incident to occur. A cause is required to produce an effect, so the term contributing cause is redundant, because by definition a cause always contributes to an effect. So a contributing cause is a term that people use to say that it contributed but it didn't really cause it, but anything that's causally related is required to produce that particular effect. Therefore, a root cause is just a cause. There are causes to an incident. There isn't a cause. The reason people use the term root cause is they mean if this cause wouldn't have happened, the incident never would have occurred. But that statement is true for anything that is causally related to the issue. So the example I usually use is the fire triangle. People usually call oxygen a contributing cause, but oxygen is required just like the heat is and just like the fuel is. They're all causally related to the fire. So we don't use any adjectives to describe the types of causes. There's just the word cause. All the terms on the left are not in the dictionary. The word is cause, and you validate causes with evidence. If you're missing evidence, that's what a possible cause is. So when people are missing information, when they say apparent or likely or theory or hypothesis, those are possible causes, and you'd put a question mark. You're not sure if it's causally related, but a cause is validated with evidence. When you do an investigation, or basic cause and effect analysis, you start with a problem, and then you ask why questions. So why questions read left to right across the page, which is the way English, the convention for English is left to right. If you lay it out visually, the problem is a goal that has been negatively impacted. So really an organization is always interested in preventing any negative impact to the goals. When you ask why questions, you identify that cause and effect relationship, and just like the statement above, it lays out cause and effect visually. The effect is on the left, the cause is on the right, and all those individual cause and effect relationships, very simple. This is an example of 3 whys. 5 whys is considered a method, but 5 whys is just a way to get to the 6th why and then the 7th why. You add as much detail as you need. The Fishbone is a very popular tool. It starts with the problem on the right and it builds to the left in terms of causes of the problem. It categorizes the causes, and the point that I wanted to make is it was developed by Ishikawa. He was one of the first people to visually lay out cause and effect on a diagram. It starts on the right because Japanese reads from right to left. So when Ishikawa would go to the chart paper, he would write the problem on the right because that's how Japanese reads, and then he'd work his way to the left, and that's why it builds that direction. So we agree with Ishikawa's convention, but English reads left to right. That's why the problem starts on the left and the why questions build to the right. Also, this is a categorization of causes. It doesn't actually lay out cause and effect relationships. That's why every incident on a fishbone looks like the bones of a fish, but the incident doesn't know that. You should make the incident look like, you should make the investigation look like the incident. So you'd never want to fit an incident into a particular shape. The concept is form follows function. The map should look like the terrain. So the terrain or the truth dictates what the map looks like. So back to these simple cause and effect relationships. This cause produces this effect. This cause produces this effect. But this cause also produces this effect, meaning cause and effect relationships link together. It's why people talk about a chain of events. So when you ask, why did this effect happen, it's normal to get different answers. Just because of the way cause and effect links together, it explains why you get different answers. Why did this effect on the left occur? And anyone can answer with any of the causes to the right, and the statement is valid. The simple nature of cause and effect explains why there are different answers when you ask why questions. It's not an issue of who's right or wrong, it's an issue of what's accurate, and you have to build the map to improve that communication. So every cause and effect relationship obviously is made up of an effect on the left and a cause on the right, and why questions link those together. So this is the building block for every investigation we do. If you impacted the schedule in a negative way, that schedule goal has been impacted because of a delay in the project. The delay in the project is because the wrong part was shipped, and the wrong part was shipped because the order was keyed incorrectly. Very simple cause and effect. The wrong part shipped is an effect of the order being keyed incorrectly. The wrong part shipped is a cause of the delay in the project. If you asked anyone, why was there a delay in the project? Some people could say, we keyed the order incorrectly, and some people could say wrong part, and they're both telling the truth. As you add more detail, you find out the wrong part is shipped because we keyed the order incorrectly, and the pre-ship verification step was skipped. So both of these causes are required to produce this effect. It's very similar to the fire triangle. So cause and effect builds not only horizontally but can build vertically also in terms of accurate cause and effect. Basic steps of problem solving. What's the problem? Why did it happen? What will be done? The conventional approach is, here's a problem, here's the cause, which is called the root cause, and here's the solution. We'd say a more accurate way to do this is it's not about the problem, it's about the goals of the company that have been impacted. You identify the causes, plural, on a cause map, and then you identify the best solutions to control those causes. Our methodology is basically framed in terms of a problem with four basic questions. What's the problem? When did it happen? Where did it happen? And how did it impact the goals? So it's the 5 whys plus H, who, what, when, where, why, how. But you don't ask who did it. It leaves you what, when, where. All the why and the how questions are in the analysis. You actually define the incident by the impact to the organization's overall goals. And then it can begin with just one why question, working backwards, asking why questions as you read across the page. As you get to 3 or 4 or 5 why questions, as you add more detail, it turns into more of this map. This vertical dimension gets added. You can put evidence on the cause map to validate it. So the analysis step is impact to goals, causes supported with evidence. Then the solution step is what can we possibly do? This is where you get ideas on how to solve the problem, and you pick the best solutions from those possibilities. Those best solutions go into an action plan. Any one of the causes has potential solutions. You don't have to solve them all. You're going to select the best to mitigate the risk. That's really the objective, is to reduce the impact or risk to the overall goals. The simple problem outline we use with the 4 questions, what, when, where, impact the goals. The what question is how individuals see the problem. They have different points of view. The impact of the goals is how the organization sees the problem. It's the connector. It is organizational north. All problems in an organization should be defined by the negative impact on the organization's overall goals. This means the question, what's the problem, is now about 10 or 15 seconds long, because you'll get different answers, but you just write those down. People are really giving you causes that belong in the analysis. You connect everyone by linking issues to the goals that have been impacted. You can start with a very basic cause and effect relationship, simple concept of cause mapping. You ask a few why questions, ask 3 why questions to get started. As you add more detail, here are 10 causes that are laid out. In between any of these cause and effect relationships, and even to the right, you can add more detail. So here's a more detailed map. Think of it like just as a map is, with a scroll bar on the left hand side that you can zoom in or zoom out. So you can zoom in and add more and more detail. All of these maps are accurate, they're just at different levels of detail. Once you get your incident to an appropriate level of detail based on the impact of the goals, you can add evidence. The evidence is collected during the analysis, so when you're missing evidence, there's a question mark. When you add more detail to an investigation. You might have to go collect some additional evidence. So some evidence explains different sections of the map. So you provide the evidence to validate the map so that it's accurate. In the solution step, you can propose solutions for different causes. So people have ideas how to control different solutions. You can propose a solution for any one of the causes, and that's where you use the cause map as the platform to brainstorm ideas and options and possibilities, and from those options you select the best ones. So you use the map to identify different ways you could solve the problem, and then you select the best solutions to reduce the risk, the impact to the goals. So here's an example in the Concorde incident. It's got simple what, when, where, impact to goals. For the Concorde incident, if you ask people what the problem is, some people say the problem is the Concorde crashed, some people say the tire ruptured, some people say it was the debris on the runway. The loss of life, all of those are definitely problems. We write them down. They're not good, they are problems. When you get down to the goals and ask everyone, even though they give different answers about the problem, when you ask, how did it impact safety? Was anyone injured? Everyone says there were fatalities, there were multiple fatalities. Even though they have different views on what the problem is, they answer the question, how did it impact the goals, the same way. That's the connector. That's why you can start with any one of these goals. You take all the goals that were impacted. They eventually build your analysis, but you can start with just one of the goals that's been impacted and ask why questions. So the safety goal is impacted because there were 113 fatalities. Effect on the left, cause on the right. Why were there 113 fatalities? And someone tells us because the Concorde crashed, which is valid, and we can add that evidence in. Why did the Concorde crash? Because the tire disintegrated. This is a very simple 3-why setup for cause and effect. You can add more detail and say, well, between Concorde crashed and tire disintegrated, the Concorde crashed because it lost 2 of its 4 engines, and it lost 2 of its 4 engines because the fuel cell ruptured. Even between that cause and effect relationship, you can zoom in and add more detail. This is that zoom in, zoom out view, and it's one of the advantages from the cause mapping method on how to start any complex issue, very basic. People that have a lot of knowledge about a particular issue, if you show them a very basic set of cause and effect relationships that's tied to the goals, they can't keep from providing additional information. If they know more about the issue, they're going to point out you missed something. So one of the advantages of starting a map so basic is people with knowledge about the issue will add more detail. They'll point out what you've forgotten or what you've overlooked or what you've missed. Here with the concept of analysis, which is breaking down into parts, the 113 fatalities can be broken out to the 4 on the ground and the 9 that actually occurred within the aircraft, and then more detail can be added. So we took the BEA investigation, which is the group in France that investigated the Concorde. They have a very detailed report on what happened, and we took that report and built a detailed cause map. So this is a poster. It's available on our website under RCA examples over on the left margin of our website. The Concorde is one of the examples in there, and the poster is available for purchase. The idea is you put it on a wall or a conference room wall, and you can see this level of detail. In the middle top part of the map is a very simple cause map that I just showed you that talks about the tire rupturing and the Concorde crashing. The detailed cause map that has specific evidence, those are the pink boxes beneath the causes, has evidence on specific cause and effect relationships. The solutions that were identified are also laid out on this cause map, and those solutions control specific causes. Of course, the problem outline is written in the top left-hand corner, and it has the impact of the goals. The cause map is step 2, and step 3 is the table of action items. It says what specifically is going to be done to mitigate the risk of this occurring again, and then there's a timeline for this incident. Some of these causes are crossed out because evidence was collected. At one point, it wasn't clear what caused what. So there were some or relationships. If we don't know whether it's this or this or this, it means we're missing evidence, and we gather the evidence and disprove some of the causes, so they are crossed out. So this map is intended to be a learning guide on how to dissect an incident to significant detail or to clear understanding. And see, some of the evidence are actually photographs that are placed on this. This is built within our Excel template that we provide on our website. Some different ways to document a cause map. Pencil and paper works very well for 1 or 2 people writing out boxes and connector arrows. Very simple to lay out 3 or 4 or 5 why questions. You can use chart paper with post-it notes on the wall. You can use a dry erase board to write it out, or you can use larger post-it notes on a dry erase board if you have a bigger group. And then Microsoft Excel. If you've attended any of our other webinars on using Excel, Microsoft Excel is just an excellent tool for visually documenting both problems and processes. The multiple worksheet tabs are just a great way to index a lot of information. We have some demos on our website about how to use Excel. It's a highly underutilized application that most people already have, so it makes it very easy to share information. There's a simple summary from a reliability standpoint how root cause analysis fits in. Every organization has processes. When a process when you don't achieve the desired result from your process, it means something in the process or processes is broken. It didn't go well. That's what a problem is. A problem is a signal or a symptom that your processes aren't delivering the results. You dissect the issue, defining the problem, conducting the analysis, identifying solutions. That's where the cause mapping piece fits in. The solutions you come up with in your investigation are implemented within the work process. So there's this cycle. It's typically known as the Shewhart cycle, as plan, do, check, act. The do is the execution of your work process. Checking is validating that you got the results from your work process, that's your measurements. If you don't get the results, that's why root cause analysis is done. That's the act piece, causally. Why did this happen, and what are we going to do to prevent it? The solutions that come out of the root cause analysis are part of the new plan that says here's what our work process is going to be to prevent that from occurring. So from a reliability standpoint, this is really the objective, is you get proficient at investigating issues to improve processes to not investigate more issues. So the organizations that are very effective at dissecting problems have fewer of them to dissect, and organizations that are not very good at investigating issues tend to have plenty of incidents to investigate. It's an important tie-in with procedures and training, supervision, and experience, how that connects to work process. We obviously cover that in our workshop in terms of accountability and how performance within a company. The question of did this happen or could this happen, you can do cause and effect analysis on something that did happen in the past or something that could happen in the future. It's usually called risk analysis or failure modes effects analysis. You're proactively considering cause and effect relationships. As a quick summary, the most frequent comments we get about our methodology is, number one, that it's simple. It's just very clear. People understand it. There are no acronyms. There's no new terminology or buzzwords. Our clients say it's effective. It's something that helps them in terms of managing risk. They identify different solutions, things they didn't consider. It's just very clear and a useful tool for them. The documentation in terms of creating the map, whether it's on pencil and paper or a dry erase board or within Microsoft Excel, that the documentation is clear. And the analysis, the byproduct of the analysis is the record. Is you create this visual map as part of the analysis, which becomes the record, and it works on small issues and big issues, which is key. People need to be using structured cause and effect for just day-to-day troubleshooting, which they're basically doing in their head. It's just a great way to capture that, use that information across an organization to reduce the likelihood of incidents. And then for bigger issues in a business, and unfortunately catastrophic cases, the cause and effect principle doesn't change, and the definition of cause does not change from small issues to big issues. If you want to learn more about our methodology, obviously this is the point of us delivering workshops and the clients that we have that do both in-house workshops and attend public workshops. Our next public workshop from this date is in Dallas on September 16th and 17th. We have a Cause Mapping 2 workshop, which is specifically about facilitation and documentation. We go through a lot more about the process of how do you make it simpler, which is really the definition of facilitation, means to make easier. How do you make it easier to collect and organize all that information? How do you do it quicker? And how do you make the documentation easier? So that's going to be in Kansas City on October 14th and 15th. If you want to bring Think Reliability on site, we do a lot of client workshops. They're customized to the client's specific goals, and it's about that organization's specific problems and processes, and really improving the problem-solving skills within your people in your organization is the key. There's a lot of knowledge within every company we visit that is really just underutilized. And then the whole facilitation and coaching piece, we work a lot of issues remotely for clients. They'll call us. We'll work with them once a week in terms of having a review of some of their incidents. They may call us in for a big issue they just need help on. They may want some coaching on not only setting up their problem prevention program or their reliability effort, but working through their root cause analysis effort. So our objective is to be a root cause analysis resource for our clients. That's what we specialize in, and it's really important to us to make that very clear and simple for our clients. So let us know how we can be a resource for you. We'd certainly like to see you in one of our workshops and get your feedback, or come on site with a group of your people and work some issues. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us at our office. I appreciate you sitting through the summary. We're going to have other webinars that are available on our website, which is at thinkreliability.com. Thanks very much. Have a great day.